Hello and welcome to the Pause Podcast. I'm your host, John Smith, the website designer and I guess you could also say junior designer here at Pause Magazine. And today I'm joined by our lovely editor, Julia
Hello,
Cassano.
everybody.
And our picture editor is leaving the room. Okay, well, you know what? This is the beautiful thing about podcasts. Because they are live and we can do whatever we want with it, we're just going to roll on.
Of course, go on.
Yeah. So how are you doing today, Julia?
I'm actually okay. I mean, now that the magazine is coming together, I think it's gonna look beautiful, and I can't wait for you guys to read it. Make sure you follow us on our Instagram page at postmagig.
And also we have Twitter, we have YouTube, and we also have LinkedIn. So make sure you get following, get subscribing, do whatever you can to help us grow.
Exactly. And also remember to use hashtag AskPost to ask us all the questions that you might have about body, mind, ease, and food.
And just to give you all a bit of a behind-the-scenes look here at Pause Magazine, this is our first ever podcast that we've shot, and as you can already listen, this isn't going to the best of starts because our picture editor is no longer here. But we hope that he joins us soon so you can continue to ask the questions. But, you know, just so our audience could learn more about us and could learn more about who we are as people, we decided to take to our Instagram page, which, again, you can follow at AskPause. Oh, I got it wrong.
At postmagig.
There you go, that's how you say it. So yeah, if you follow us on Instagram, you can check out some of our podcasts that we've done in the past, and also you can ask us questions, hashtag AskPause. But you know, our first question of the day that we received earlier on came from, if I can find it, Max Collins, and he asked, what do you actually mean by ease? I'm confused. So Julia, what do you have to say?
So for us it's all about how do you de-stress and chill out after you had a busy day in the office. So that would be probably, for me personally, maybe going to the gym. For somebody else, it might just be going home, chill around, watch television, or maybe go out for a walk as well, walk your pets. Your pets, maybe just your dog. I don't know if you walk cats and rabbits and...
It depends if you
or maybe
actually
just
have
cuddle your
pets.
pets, you know what I mean? Like, it depends. But that's like the essence of ease in a nutshell, I think.
Yeah, because we just really wanted to like explore all these different options when it comes to pause. And you know, everyone knows food, everyone loves food, everyone knows to take care of themselves and their body. The mind these days is growing more important and we have to take care of our mind. But it's also important that we just enjoy ourselves and enjoy our lives. And that's where the idea behind ease was created.
Exactly. And then also, obviously, when you work for 9 hours in an office, you might kind of gain this tension that you want to release afterwards. So for us, ease is literally what happened when you finish your 9 to 5. What happened next? How do you help yourself to get better and to distress from all the overwhelming stress achieved during the day?
Okay, so our next question comes from a man called George Valance, 90. I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly. I apologize if I didn't. But he asks, where is your favorite place in London to relax? And I'm going to start this off because Julia looks puzzled right now. And I would say my favorite place to relax is actually a pretty underrated place, but it's a place near the London Eye. And it's, I can't remember the official name, which is annoying because I should have remembered it. But Leek Street Tunnel, that is what it's called. It's a tunnel that's just dedicated to street art and artwork. And have you ever been?
I've been there and I love it.
Yeah, it's an amazing place.
That's nice.
Yeah, so if you've never been before, it's basically just a tunnel full of street art, and it changes all the time. So if you go every single week it changes, and you can but you can see like people creating different things. You can see all these different pieces of artwork, and I just love how every single piece of artwork has their own story. If you're listening to music, it makes it even better to just walk through, because if you listen to like some adventure music, for example, it's like you're going through this story as like people are unraveling their creations, and it's just an amazing place to be for me. But what about you, Julia?
For me personally, I think just walking along the river, so not maybe where the South Bank is, because it tends to be pretty touristic, so maybe it's not like the best place to relax, but just after Tower Bridge, so you go towards East London and you go maybe towards Sadok Park. That area specifically along the river is very, very beautiful and is very quiet. Sometimes, if you are lucky enough, you can see some seal. And there's a lot of with animals, I would say, apart from like boring seagulls and boring squirrels.
I wouldn't say they're boring, but
I mean,
each
yeah.
to their own.
But I think like it's a very quiet place, and that's where, and it's just literally just after Tower Bridge. So we are not expecting obviously to be something quiet and relaxing, but it is indeed. So I really recommend to do that walk it can take you up to the Docklands, so you can walk quite a lot.
Do you have any special memories from when you've walked there?
Oh
in the
yeah.
past?
So when I was about 10 years old, so that was like 11 years ago, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're getting old.
Ooh, we're getting old. But yeah, anyway, I was walking with my auntie and my now very young cousin back in the time. And I remember that it was very, very sunny. We're walking around, and then that's where I got my first pint. This is very awkward. That's where I
10
got
years
my
old?
first. Yes,
Oh,
that's where I
wow.
got my first pint of Guinness ever.
And what was it like?
And I remember I was drinking this 10 years old. Guys, don't do it at home.
Yes, please do not give your kids alcohol.
I
This is
was-
not and also drink responsibly. This is the message we would like you to remember.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm Italian, so this rule don't apply. But yeah, so I was drinking this pint. I was 10 years old. I didn't get drunk because I just got a little bit, hopefully, I think. But yeah, I was walking where I just mentioned, so just after Tower Bridge. And yeah, and the weather was just beautiful. It was like July, I guess, or August. So it was not one of the very hot summers in London. So it was very, very good.
Okay, and we're not sure if you've listened back to it, but actually we are now back here again. Say hello.
I'm back.
It's
yes.
Jack. It's Jack.
Jack is
It's
back.
Jack.
Yes,
Jack
he
is
is back. It is Jack Groganfen. He is our picture editor. And so you just missed out on this, but we've just got a question from George Valance. Again, I apologise if I got that wrong. But Jack, where is your favourite place in London to relax?
Where's my favourite? Shoreditch. I'm a huge fan of Shoreditch. I am someone who's really into retail therapy, as I'm sure many of our listeners can sympathise with. I just sort of like just letting my mind go blank, just having a look around the shops, trying some things on, just having a nice chat with everyone there, just getting out and having a bit of a walk and a bit of retail therapy. Yeah, that's sort of my go-to. Oxford Street's also good, but I'd always recommend going during the week because Oxford Street on the weekend is an absolute nightmare. So I would avoid
It's
it.
no place to relax, isn't it?
No, but I mean, honestly, if you're on like a Wednesday lunchtime, then it's really good because it's really quiet, lots of nice shops, lots of nice people, lots of nice places to eat as well. So I'd just say I love a bit of retail therapy. If not, I'd say go to the cinema because I love films. I love the cinema. I love to be able to switch off, relax, and sort of immerse myself in a
Switch off,
experience like that.
relax, and enjoy the big screen experience
I mean,
by view.
That's obviously
Yeah.
my future career job, isn't it? Like my future career is just cinema announcer. That's the one go forward.
What's your favourite film? This is the big question.
Tough question. If I'm being artsy, or
You
sort
can be
of,
whatever you want to be.
in terms of like quality film, I'd probably say American Psycho. Very good. Not sure if any of you see that. In terms of the film I actually enjoy the most, is actually Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I'm not sure if any of you have seen that.
Never heard
No,
of
I
it.
haven't heard of it either.
Well, check it out.
Hopefully some of our listeners have.
Well,
Let us know.
We'll
Follow
see.
us on
Yes.
Instagram.
Instagram, Twitter.
Hashtag at postmag.ig. And let us know if you watched
what
the
about
movie.
you? What about you, John?
I was going to ask this question to Julie while I thought of my answer, but
I'm not gonna ask what it is.
okay. I'm not sure what sort of route to go down, but I just love the Toy Story franchise. I know that's completely different from Jack's answers, but you couldn't get a better franchise as a whole in terms of quality than Toy Story. Toy Story 1 was amazing. It set boundaries. It was fantastic. Toy Story 2 was incredible. Also, I sympathize and I relate to that movie so much more as a person now because I don't know if anyone ever played it, but there was a game back in the day on PlayStation 1, Toy Story 2, one of my favorite video games of all time, and it was amazing. And being able to play through that game and being able to watch the movie at the same time, it was just fantastic. And Toy Story 3 as well, another fantastic film. I wish they stopped it after the Toy Story 3, but Toy Story 4 was still fantastic as well. So it doesn't really answer the question exactly, but if I had to give my favorite movie franchise, I'd probably have to say the Toy Story franchise because that's the one that came to my mind right now, and it's one I've enjoyed as a child and I continue to enjoy now as an adult. Julia?
Shall we move to the next question?
What is your favorite film?
I guess everything that is comedy may be related to my childhood because I used to watch it a lot. It could be The Proposal. I don't know if you heard of it.
The one with Ryan Reynolds.
I think it is, yeah. It's basically like, it's so funny. And do you remember, I don't know, there is a scene when she is going into the woods and then the grandma of like a boss appears and they start like singing this very song like to the tree and it's just so funny. I love it.
Okay. I can't say I can relate to the film because I've never seen it.
You should
but-
watch it, John.
Okay, our next question comes in from Alexandra, if to me, and she asks, what's your favourite book that inspires you the most and why? Julia.
What is my favorite book? And so what is my favorite book and the one who inspired me the most? I would definitely say Harry Potter in general, like
Okay.
the whole saga.
It
Just
counts.
it's just like, I know it's such a cliche, but obviously it didn't inspire me in becoming a wizard as much as I wanted. But obviously, you can't. But it's just like I think the whole friendship and the whole relationship in the saga, in the story, just like an inspiration of how to be brave, how to be confident, and how to never give up on something that you actually really truly believe in. And it's just like such a pleasure to read. But I know I'm being very, very cliche. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologise. Jack, what about you?
Tough question. Favorite book. Kind of a classic going back a bit, but I don't know if it's necessarily one book. I love classic murder mysteries. I love classic murder mystery films and books, and I love Agatha Christie. I have literally every single Agatha Christie book at home, and I wouldn't say I'd be able to pick a favourite, but I just really enjoy her writing. It's really classic. It's dark, it's funny, it's really captures a distinct time period. And I'd definitely say it's one of my favourites.
I love by Agatha Christie. I'm not sure if that's the actual English title, but it's like, and there were none.
And then there were none.
And
yeah,
then there were none.
that's
Here we
great.
go.
Like
I love the book.
the
It's amazing.
original slasher, the original slasher. Yeah, that's one of my favourites as well. It's really
And
incredible.
I know like the little thingy by heart in Italian though, so I will not start saying it.
And I do not know what they're talking about. I apologise.
Just tell us your favorite book.
Okay. I'm trying to, in my mind, I've got two different books. I'm not sure which one to go with, but I'm probably going to say the book Never Let Me Go. If you...
Oh, I love the. Oh my god, why
Yes.
haven't I thought about it? Oh my god, it's amazing. I love that.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one then.
Oh my
I
God.
can't remember the author. It's like on the tip of my
It's
tongue.
Yushiro Igizaki.
Kazuo Ishiguro?
Zero Ishiguro.
Yes, okay.
Yes,
I did
here we
know
go.
it. It's just, I read the book
Oh,
when...
it's so good.
Yeah.
Why haven't I thought about it before? Oh, I love the book. Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, so I read the book when I was 13, 14 years old, and it's weird because at the time I didn't like the book, but I feel like as I've grown more as a person and as I've read the book again, it's completely changed the way I feel about different things in the world, especially when it comes to human cloning, because that's the premise of what the book is. And it just, I don't know, just reading material like that just makes you appreciate the life that we currently have and how quickly it can change. And yeah, that's all I can say really.
It's a very good book.
I would definitely recommend it if you've
And
never
it's
read it
so
before.
I think it was written back in the 1990s or
Yeah, I
something,
think
or
around that
early
time.
2000. But I mean, it's at least 20 years old book, and it's so modern. Even the philosophy. Oh my god, undescribable.
See,
honestly.
I'd say I prefer On Chesil Beach.
I've
I
never
didn't read it. It's still from the same author. What is that
I've
about?
never read it before.
It's kind of it's sort of like a bottled drama about this couple on their wedding night, and it sort of jumps backwards and forwards in time, following them after sort of an incident. And yeah, it's just one of those classic English sort of tragic comedy stories.
Fair enough.
Oh, that sounds pretty sad, if anything. So that kind of leaves it on a sad note at the moment. But to make it a bit more happier, Amelia asks, where is the best coffee shop for you to go at after work? And I stumbled on my words there, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, Amelia asks, where is the best coffee shop for you to go to after work? And I'm going to start off with this, and I'm just going to say Costa Coffee. I-
Boo. Boo.
I mean, I'm
You
not.
are so like
I'm-
basic, John.
I apologize. I'm not much of a coffee drinker myself, but like if I want a tea, if I want a hot chocolate, Costa is there to make you proud.
Right. For me personally, I'm gonna go because I've got plenty, but I'm gonna mention one specifically. So it's located on Goswell Road, so that's literally in the border between Islington and City of London. And it's called simply Goswell Road Cafe. Woo. Very, very boring name, but inside is not boring at all. And the coffee per se is very good. And they also offer different type of like coffees, if it makes sense. So there's not just like the standard cappuccino and the standard latte and the standard mocha, but also like more elaborated stuff. And also they offer quite lot of vegan pastries and snacks that you can have with your coffee as well, and teas. Oh, the tea is very good as well, by the side.
What's your favorite thing there?
I think I'm very Italian, so I keep taking the espresso. Well, I'm very picky. I have to say that. Being Italian, I'm very picky with coffee, and they have the best espresso in London. I'm open to say that. It's just like it's not bitter and it doesn't taste like water as most coffees in London do.
So pretty high praise.
Yeah, so it's very good for espresso. So that's
But
usually
you keep
when
saying
I
that
go
all the other coffees in London are bad.
I don't like espressos in any other cafeteria. Maybe I like cappuccinos and I like other stuff, but espressos,
Yeah.
no. The only good espresso I can drink is that, so that's what I usually take. And then there's just like plenty of sofas. It's just like very comfortable, and you can do plenty of your like other stuff. Could be like plugging computer in, or just like reading. It's very comfy.
Jack?
So it's a sort of quite hipstery chain. It's called Grind, and there's one in Clerkenwell, there's one in Shoreditch, there's one in Broadgate Circus, there's one in Bank. There's loads of them. It's all about London, and it's basically just a nice coffee chain. It's got different types of coffee. They always sort of do a coffee of the month. So this month the one that I had was something I've never tried before, a vanilla iced oat milk latte, which was really good and definitely something that I'm sort of going to have again. So it just gives you a chance to try sort of different types of coffee, different types of drinks, and by night they also are a restaurant and a cocktail bar, so it kind of gives you a nice bit of variation with what you're doing. And yeah, it's just somewhere really good, so you can get a quick coffee, you can spend hours in there. It's really comfy, really trendy, so I definitely recommend it for anyone who hasn't been yet.
Yeah, I like the Grind as well.
I can't say I like coffee. I don't know why. I've just never been a big fan of drinking coffee. I don't think it's my taste.
I'm a
I
coffee
think John
fiend.
knows
I
my
love
story
coffee.
about coffee.
I love coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee's the best. Yeah.
I don't
I
understand.
can't function without coffee. I need to have at least a coffee
I
during the
feel
day.
you, John.
I don't
feel you.
understand.
Or a Red Bull, which you guys know I
Oh,
love.
Red
I love
Bull.
Red
Don't
Bull.
get me started on
my
Red Bull.
God. But yeah, guys, let us know if you are a fan of coffees or if you're not like John.
The right
Jack and I,
answer.
we are definitely
Are you a John?
That's not something we should start.
Hashtag are you a John?
No, we're not starting that.
Are you a John? Hashtag are you a John or are you a Jack?
You know,
Let us know.
Well, Julia said she wanted this podcast to be about 15 minutes, and we've already gone over by 5 minutes. This is why I said we should just make it long, because our audience can listen to our lovely voices even more.
My lovely Italian accent. Go on. Let's
Yeah,
answer
we've
this
still
question.
got questions, and you still got
Yes.
time to listen to us. So our next question comes from Damsamade. I apologize if I pronounced your name incorrectly. If I have said it wrong, just give me a message, and I'll be able to message it, and I'll be able to pronounce it next time more better. And he asks, what do you think about playing games after a long day of work in order to relax? What do
This
you
is
think
for
about it?
males.
Well, not really. Do you play video games, or do you play any games in ever?
Oh, not really.
So you've never played a single game in your life?
I mean, I played sporadically Call of Duty.
Yeah, that counts.
Very sporadically. I don't know. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
See-
not a fan of video games. Never been.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be video games.
Oh,
Game-
just games.
Games come in
Okay.
all shapes,
So
sizes,
board
platforms.
games, I like a lot Monopoly. It's very long. You need to have literally the whole weekend free to play it, and obviously you need friends and family and stuff like that. But I think it's very cool.
Yeah, but not to relax. If
Yeah,
you
I like
if you want to
Monopoly.
start a war, you play Monopoly. That's how.
To relax. Oh, to relax.
yeah, like-
Ooh. A game
I don't know
to
about
relax.
everyone else, but like when I play Monopoly, I'm playing to win. Like I'm not here to relax. I'm here to win.
You are such a competitive person, John.
You know, it's a shame that our chief designer Sophia isn't here today because she absolutely loves playing Monopoly too, and I feel like she would be just as passionate as I was right now because I know she's quite the same to me.
Fair enough.
Again, it depends on your definition of games, but with the game I play all the time on my phone, it's just Scrabble because I'm really boring. But
It's not boring. If you enjoy it, there's nothing wrong
it's a
with it.
good game, and it just means you get an opportunity to sort of brush up on your vocabulary, learn new words. Quite interactive, quite easy to play. But in terms of like board games, for example, I love Cluedo. Cluedo is my absolute favourite game of all time.
That's not for relax. That's definitely not for relax.
Definitely, it's like
That's when I start the word with somebody.
cozy
With
crime.
Cluedo.
Oh, I mean, at least it's not as bad as Monopoly. Monopoly is the one.
Yeah,
for
Monopoly is the worst.
Monopoly
I mean, it's
is
it's the best if you're doing well. If you're not doing well, Monopoly's the worst.
Monopoly breaks up more
But
families
how
than
cheap
Brexit.
do you? Ooh. But how cheap do you feel when you actually win Monopoly?
I feel
You feel
amazing.
like
I
the
don't.
king-
I don't
the
think.
king
I've,
on-
I don't think I've ever had that feeling before.
I
to
have
be
had that
honest.
feeling many
I
times
had
before.
that feeling.
I'm the genius of Monopoly.
What can I say? I sort of like play Monopoly like I spend money in real life. You spend money to make money.
Exactly. That's the mentality I follow when it comes
I
to
love
Monopoly.
Okay, shall we go with the next question?
I didn't even answer the question.
Oh, I'm sorry, John.
You're just getting
This
getting into the
conversation
point.
just going so.
It's fine. Let's go to the next question.
No, I'm going to answer this question. And I'd say, like, in terms of relaxing after work, you just do whatever you like. You know, everyone lives their life in different ways. If you like playing games, video games, board games, paper games, other games that exist, I don't know. But, you know, you do whatever you like to do to relax. For me personally, I enjoy it. Whereas for someone like Julia, she doesn't really enjoy it because she's too busy at the gym.
Ooh, true.
Exactly. I'm not saying it in a bad way. Like, you do whatever you like to do to relax. But for me personally, you know, after a long day of working, you know, just going home, being able to just play a game with my family or, you know, playing a video game online with friends, it's just a great feeling. And it can also be a memorable one too, depending on, like, the game you play. And...
Our
Okay.
next question.
Yeah, this is another problem with doing podcasts because, you know, if no one speaks, dead audio is not good. And then... either of you ever listened to a podcast before, recently?
Yeah, of course. I listen to podcasts quite a lot.
What podcast do you listen to?
This is really lame, but I quite like the Joe Rogan podcast because that's like, and it's.
I don't know why you
super-
keep saying this is lame, because nothing is lame.
Um,
If you enjoy doing something, listening to something,
I
it's not lame.
listen to the Brooklyn Nine-Nine podcast as well
Yeah,
because
I didn't even know they had a podcast.
they have a
Me neither.
podcast. Yeah, it's great. I'm a huge Brooklyn Nine-Nine fan. In fact, that's probably one of the shows that I watch to sort of ease down on a commute or at home. As you'll soon be able to read about in our magazine, one of the best shows to watch.
Nice little,
These
cheap,
on
are.
your- It's actually plug magazine.
nice little
Yeah,
cheap plug there.
there we are. Done it. It can't be a cheap plug because it's our own magazine.
That's true. I mean, I guess at the same time, we could say we're sponsored by the Pause magazine. I mean, we
Pau-
own it.
Pause Magazine podcast, sponsored by Pause Magazine.
I mean, I've seen companies do that before. They're like, here is our podcast, and it's sponsored by our magazine, so we can be just like them.
I like that. I like the spirit.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah, it's a really good one. I mean, if you haven't checked it out, check out. I think quite a lot of TV shows now do sort of podcasts. I know that Stranger Things did one, and they were sort of one of the originators of it, and then other shows have started doing it since. But hot take, I don't like Stranger Things, so I don't listen to a Stranger Things podcast. So
I've never watched that, so I can't say.
I watch Stranger Things. I never heard of the podcast.
I didn't even know there was a podcast either.
well, now you know, the more
Now
you
we
know.
know.
I mean, I watch better things on Netflix, if I'm being honest. Friends is still on there, so I'm happy.
Nah,
example-
Friends.
Friends.
I don't like Friends.
Oh.
Jack,
Right, so I'm,
leave the room.
I'm so sorry to say that Jack has officially left. Pause. He's not here
Pause.
anymore.
We might disconnect your microphone.
Yeah, that's it.
You're
can't
gonna lose
speak
the right to
anymore.
speak.
It's just outdated. It's just not very good anymore. It's like
If
some shows age well. Friends isn't one of them.
I'm so sorry to our listeners right now that you have to listen to
Yeah,
this.
me too.
Let's
like-
just move on
let's
because
just
we don't
move
want
on
to hear
with the next
that.
question, please.
Friends is the best TV
Please.
show.
We'll-
That's
we'll-
it.
we'll
But
carry-
let us
we'll-
know
we'll
what your
carry-
favorite
we'll
TV
carry
show
on
is
this-
on
we'll carry on this-
Instagram.
We'll carry on this argument afterwards. Not to worry.
Jack, do not speak over me.
Yeah, there's another problem with podcasts because if two people speak at the same time, you cannot hear anything.
Yeah.
And at the same time, if there's dead audio and you can't hear anything, you might think you've lost connection or something like that, even
This
though
is
you're
a bit-
listening to an audio file. But
Is this a bit we're editing out, or is this
Yeah.
going to be in the podcast?
no, this is all going in. This is the thing with podcasts, it's live. Anything we say, it's going in. But I have decided to leave the best question for last. And it comes from Alessia Bassana. Do you know her, Julia?
Ooh, I know this person very well.
And how do you know her?
Well, she's kind of sharing blood with me.
You could just say she's your sister.
I mean, I wanted to say it in a nice way.
That
No,
does
I
not
don't-
sound nice at all.
No,
She's
I
sharing
don't know.
blood with
No,
me.
I do not know who
It's
this
creepy.
person is. I do not know this surname. I don't know who. I deny all connection with this person.
She's my little sis.
Okay, to get to the point, the big question of today, what is your most memorable holiday experience? Who wants to go first? It will not be me, because I'm judging this.
Oh, you are judging this. Okay, Jack, it's gonna be me against you. My favorite holiday experience. No, my memorable holiday.
Actually, you know what? We can do both. Best and worst holiday experience.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with my worst holiday experience, which starts on a flight. I'm not gonna say the company, but yeah, I was flying from Italy to Egypt, and the flight crashed. Not crashed, but obviously, what happened is we were just entering into Egypt, and at a certain point, so we were like kind of going down, obviously, ready to yeah.
Oh my god.
And wait on a second, and the plane lost part of its engine, just part of it. So basically, what happened?
Oh yeah,
is
that's fine.
we
It's just
no,
lost part
no.
of the
I got a
engine,
second.
it's fine.
It doesn't look like the first Lost episode. It does. It's not that tragic, but still, like obviously, we lost
Never
a lot
seen
of
Lost.
John. Okay, we lost a lot of hay in like very few seconds, and after a little bit, like the plane stabilized. But obviously, a lot of us were very shocked, and I was just 8 years old, so I was also quite little. And we got all the masks out for oxygen, and and then like the main control, like the flight assistants were like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, we're just gonna crash." But yeah, no, actually, like at the end, we just like ending up landing on a kind of field-ish. So it was like an emergency landing, and I got the chance to go sliding down through, the slide, the yellow slide that they show on the plane in case of emergency. Yeah, I slide down on that, and it was quite fun. But obviously, like it was
It
very
doesn't
traumatic.
sound fun. It sounds
No,
terrifying.
it was a very, very traumatic experience, to be honest.
I have a fear of planes, and that sounds like my worst nightmare.
I mean, I'm still flying, obviously. I'm not scared of flying at all, but that was a very traumatic experience, and it kind of like ruined the whole holiday because, it was just at the beginning of the holiday, and then the fact that we basically lost a day because we were supposed to go to Cairo, but then we lost a day because of the emergency landing, and we just stayed for 5 days, so one day was lost, and the other 4 days we were just like still shocked about it, and then we were so scared of coming back to Italy.
I don't blame you.
So that was literally the worst
I'd walk.
holiday experience.
I'd walk.
The best one. Let's go to the best, which is
Yeah.
better. Well, to be honest, all the other holiday experiences went very well. I would say recently when I went with other amazing sub-editor Elena, which is not here today, we went to Turkey in September 2019, and I reckon just the fact that we ate such good food, that for me was a big high. It was like best holiday experience. And also I think is where I felt the most relaxed ever, because after I worked for literally the whole summer and I just had that week for holiday, usually like maybe before, because I had like 3 months of holiday, I was feeling a little bit more chillier, but because I had just a week last holiday, for me that week was exactly I relaxed the most. Yeah,
What did you do?
in Turkey, I literally sunbathed for the whole days. That was like, for me, that's the ideal of relaxing, like literally sunbathing and getting very, very dark. That's for me, is like, ooh,
Fair enough. Jack,
Jack.
it's your turn.
who's gonna win?
Best and worst holiday.
I think the worst, I'm gonna win the worst.
Yeah, you've won the worst.
think I
Nearly dying in a plane crash.
yeah.
You can't top that.
Not nearly died. There were like
I-
60% possibility of dying.
That doesn't sound
Still-
good.
That's pretty high.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd rather a 0% chance.
but we
to be honest.
survived.
I mean, you'll never have a 0% chance.
No, a 0% chance of crash, of not crash, a 0%. How do you say it? 0% chance of not crashing.
Yeah.
Is that the right way of saying it?
No, 0% chance of crashing.
0% crash.
0% chance
I
of
would
not
much rather
crashing
have
is
a 0%
100%
chance of crashing because that makes you going to be fine. I would rather have that over a 60% chance of potentially crashing.
But we crashed. And I'm still alive.
Thankfully.
Which means I'm blessed.
What are you?
Or am I not?
Okay, anyways. So, Jack, it's your turn to answer the question. Best and worst holiday experience.
I haven't actually had a worst holiday experience.
Really?
No.
Never.
Not that I can think of. I don't enjoy being at the airport. So always airport days were a bit dead because I don't. It's not that I don't like flying or like planes. I just hate the airport. I hate
Me
the
too.
security. I hate
I
sitting
feel-
in. I hate sitting in customs for like hours on
That's
end.
the best bit.
I feel Jack.
I'm
I feel Jack.
I'm much
That's the best
more
bit.
of a I'm much more of a train person if
Oh,
possible.
trains are amazing.
Trains are the best. Yes.
Trains are the
I love
best.
trains
If
as well.
only they didn't cost more than flights.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they shouldn't. Hashtag
Trains
na-
are cheaper.
hashtag-
I travel
hashtag-
everywhere by train.
Hashtag nationalise railways. But yeah, I mean, I honestly can't think of a worse holiday experience personally.
What about your best then?
My best, probably about 3.5 years ago, went to Thailand, which was amazing because we'd been a couple of years before when I was like 10, and I really remember enjoying it. But there's only obviously so much you remember, and there's only so much you can do when you're 10 years old. So going back as an adult was fantastic. We did so much cool stuff, saw so many cool things. And yeah, got to like basically stay in Thailand for a month, and part of my extended family's Thai, so they sort of like gave us a tour, told us what to do, basically translated for us and everything. So yeah, I mean that was amazing. I mean, it's just such an amazingly beautiful country. Very, very cheap once you're there, which is always ideal because, you know, always broke.
You need to speak.
And then, yeah, I mean, went on an elephant ride, went swimming in the sea.
How big,
approached
how big was the
everything.
elephant?
Massive. Like,
That's
how-
the best thing ever.
how big would I describe it?
How many jacks? How many
Probably-
jacks high is it?
I'd probably say it was about as a big elephant. It's probably about as big as a single decker bus in London, in terms of like height.
That is
A
pretty
single deck. Oh,
big. Wait, no. Do
a double deck.
you mean a double?
No,
deck?
single.
Oh,
That's
small.
short.
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how big
A
a double
double
decker
deck would be a lot.
Yeah, a double deck would be massive.
Yeah, but a single deck is probably about up to where the the clock up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Because-
not
okay,
big.
that's terrible for audio listeners. So basically, we have a clock above the studio,
How?
and it's
kind
about
of hard to
it's
describe.
about like 8 foot high. This clock in the room.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
it's probably
8
about
foot,
I'd say
yeah.
probably
Yeah,
about-
that's better for audio listeners because they're not here with us. They can't see
As I
what's
was trying
happening.
to describe it before, like yeah, I'd say yeah, 8 foot high is probably pretty out 9 foot high.
I wouldn't say this.
I was
that big.
expecting a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna say like
You guys
12,
how big?
13
You
foot.
guys-
12,
you guys-
yes,
you guys how big like
Yeah, and it's
9
big.
foot is, right?
Yeah, it's big, but I'm
Guys,
expecting
now
a lot
live, we're
bigger.
gonna search on the internet the average height of elephants
elephants.
in
But
Thailand.
but the
because
best
they are
the best thing was meeting the baby elephants.
Oh,
Aw.
that sounds.
The baby
amazing.
elephants were so cute. It was like they were so. It's just they were big, obviously, because they were like the elephants, but they were so diddy for elephants that they were so sweet. I love. Yeah, I really like animals generally.
Favorite animal?
It's been my lifelong ambition to own a rabbit at some point.
Helena would have been perfect right now.
I also love it's called a capybara, and it's
Oh, yeah,
basically like a
capybara are
giant.
really
It's
cool.
like a giant mutant guinea pig, and they're so cool. They're so funny.
Guys, we got the answer.
Here we go.
Oh.
Drum roll.
So, an Asian elephant have a height of 6.6 to 11.5 feet.
That's kind.
That's quite short. 6.6 feet, so that would be-
I'm 6'1", so
There are basketball players taller than that.
yeah, they're basketball
Oh
players
my
taller than that.
God.
So that's the smallest. So yeah,
That's a
yeah,
small
I'd
small
say small.
elephants.
So I'd
But
say-
African elephants apparently are a little bit higher. They go from.
yeah,
11 foot would be massive.
I'd say 8-9 foot's about average for an elephant.
Yeah.
Stop
But
height,
wait,
stop height shaming elephants.
I
John.
don't know a lot about elephants, so I can't really say.
But yeah, if you're interested about knowing how tall is an African elephant, that would be 8.2 to 13 feet.
I doubt anyone cares. But I don't know. We don't know. Tweet us. Let us
Tweet
know your
us.
thoughts about elephants.
Did you know how tall was an elephant?
I mean, I doubt anyone does unless they're like an elephant specialist.
Do you have a PhD in elephant height? I don't know.
That's what you should do. You should start Elephant studies. when I was at
Elephant,
university.
elephant studies. That's what we're gonna start. That's going to be the first teaching course we do here at Pause Magazine.
Retrospective on Dumbo.
Okay.
Okay, but I need to answer this question. You forgot that, didn't you, Julia?
It's your
Oh.
go.
You forgot that I didn't answer the question.
No, we know.
Oh, okay. She's
We know that you
confused.
haven't
She's
answered.
confused
I am so confused.
John hasn't answered.
because
the
you was about to continue on going off something else. I haven't even answered yet.
Okay, I'm sorry.
question.
Never
Jesus,
mind.
Julia.
Yeah, come on.
So who won this?
Sorry.
Who won this challenge?
No, John needs to answer the. John needs to put his
So
entry
you
in.
did forget. I haven't answered the question yet.
Because you said you would have been judging it.
What? No, I said I wouldn't start it because I'm saying between you two, like you two can start.
Ah, I thought you were judging.
No,
which,
I'll answer the question.
Okay, you are answering the question. Go and answer the question.
Okay, my worst ever holiday experience is pretty easy to say. I can't even remember where I went. I think it was in Wales, like the north of Wales.
To be fair, going to Wales is a pretty bad holiday experience.
No, it's actually it depends on where you go. It can be really good, but I think it was the north of Wales, and I went to a caravan park because we owned a caravan for the weekend. Don't know why, we just did. And the entire experience was as grey and dull as you could imagine. It rained 24/7. There was one bedroom in this caravan, so like I had to sleep on the floor with a blanket. So that on its own, it sounds pretty bad. And I was young, thankfully, when it happened. Like if I was the age I am now, it'd be even worse. But I was about 7 or 8 years old when I went. And the entire experience was just so dull because you're in a caravan park, so there's nothing you can do because you're in the middle of nowhere with caravans. That's it. I mean, I remember there was a swing set, so I spent like an hour just swinging every day because like there was a tiny little corner shop, there was a swing set, and about 10 caravans, and that was it.
I feel like it would be an amazing holiday now. I feel like at this age, you just drink enough alcohol, any holiday is an amazing holiday.
But there's no shop. But the corner shop doesn't have alcohol.
But did you make any friends?
No, because there was no one there.
There
Most-
were 10 caravans.
Yeah, there were caravans, but they were just people owned the caravans, but they just like rented them out to people. No one else was around.
Ah.
There may have been like one other family there, but I don't remember. I was just there with my sister the whole time.
That's bad.
So like we would spend our days swinging or asking our parents for money so we could go to the corner shop and buy little Haribo Coca-Cola bottles because they did
Oh,
like
yeah.
10 of them for £1. And I'd do whatever I could to try and get that pound coin because that was my achievement of the day. And it kept raining. I didn't even have the appropriate like footwear or anything. It was just a complete nightmare. And
Why your parents enjoy you this torture?
I think it was because it was. I don't know if they paid for it, if it was like for free. I don't remember because I was so young. But there must have been a reason why we went because
Yeah.
let's go to the middle of nowhere and do nothing for a weekend. Literally nothing. It doesn't sound that good. And it was even worse like when I was younger. But if I had to give a holiday experience, it would be that.
And your good one?
I mean, I've also had like bad experiences in planes. That's kind of why I said before I'd have like a phobia of flying. You know, when you get into really bad turbulence and they're like, "Oh, we might crash," then that's not the best thing you want to hear. Especially when you're younger because you don't understand it as much as well. Like if the plane starts shaking, you're not
I am
gonna
very
think,
chilled.
yeah, okay, fair enough. Don't rub it in. But yeah, like when you're in a plane and like it starts getting really bad turbulence and like everyone's like, "You gotta rush to your seats now." It can get pretty traumatic, especially when you're like 6 years old and you're flying and you can puke because you're scared. Yeah, I had to get a little bag, and I remember like in this occasion, I think I was flying to Portugal. I think it was my first time in an airplane as well. I had to get the air hostesses like around me, being like, "Oh, it's gonna be okay," because I'm like traumatized. Like if you're on a plane for the first time and it's shaking, like you know what turbulence is like. Yeah, it's a nightmare if it's really bad. So when you're 6 years old and you're going through that, it's even worse because you don't know what's happening.
Fair enough.
You don't sound too convinced.
I mean, it's fine. I think everybody reacts in a different
Bit
way.
of a different scale to a plane crash.
Yeah, but like you don't know in turbulence, like if it all goes wrong, you could crash.
So, John,
But-
what's your best holiday experience?
Okay, so if I had to give my best holiday experience, I don't really have a best. And I don't want to say that in a bad way. It's only because I only ever go to the same country every single year on holiday. And I go to the exact same place and we do the exact same thing every single year. Last time I went on holiday was in 2015, so it's been a while. But if you don't know me, you may not think it, but I'm also like Portuguese. I have some Portuguese people in my family.
You can't tell, trust me.
Yeah. Thanks. But yeah, so like every year in the past, we would go to Portugal every single year. Like the country is beautiful. If you've never been to Portugal before, I would definitely recommend it. But when you go every single year, to the exact same places, doing the exact same things. And these things are like going to the beach. I'm not a beach person. Other people might be, I wouldn't say I hate the beach, but like sitting and laying down for 5 hours to get slightly darker skin, only to then go home and have it like go away. I think it's pointless.
Oh my god, John! That's like the best thing ever for me. That's what I aim in a holiday, like getting very, very dark.
Yeah, but it goes away like so quickly.
No, it
and
doesn't.
people don't
No.
tan correctly. That's the thing. Like they'll tan with their watch on, and then you take off your watch, and then oh look, you have a white patch, and it looks so weird.
I mean, it depends.
Or
what
they'll
type
keep
of
the shoes and socks on, which looks even worse. So if you're like wearing sandals one day, you have like pale white feet and these really brown legs.
Who's doing it?
People do it. Have you not seen it?
No.
Oh, maybe you tan correctly then. That's why.
Usually, usually when I see people on the beach, they're all like just wearing a bikini.
No, you have people as well. Like, and also like people just go out and they'll wear like small clothing, like shorts, shirts, whatever. But they'll keep like their shoes and socks on. And because it's so hot, they don't tan their whole body.
Oh, because you're
As well,
talking
like that.
about paper people.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like because you're more darker anyways. But if I went to tan,
Yeah.
I've got to be careful because if I leave like my watch on, for example, I'm gonna have a white wrist, a white band, and then like really brown arms.
Oh my god. Yeah.
The-
Yeah, guys, let us know if you tan more like in my way. I never get tanned unless I literally just lay on the beach for the whole day, or you're more like jog type, and I would say also Jack type, where you just like as soon as the sun in London comes out, you get our sign tans that we very, very dislike.
But yeah, I don't want to sound too critical of Portugal because it is a beautiful country. Like, there are so many places you could go and visit. Mafra, Edessada, Lisbon, Sintra. I'm terrible at pronunciations
The
and
Algarve.
Portuguese accent.
Madeira for our designer, Sophia.
The
Yeah.
Algarve. The Algarve is best.
Algarve's I don't want to sound too critical of the Algarve, but it's just a tourist place now. It's been ruined by tourists.
Oh, it's the best. It's literally
Because,
like the
like,
Algarve.
this-
The Algarve is my dream holiday.
Like,
I love the
the
Algarve.
problem with places like the Algarve is just that, like, I don't know to say it properly, but it's just too popular now. Like, there's so many amazing places to visit around the world.
I think there's a
And
reason
if you
it's so
just-
popular.
Yeah, but it's only because they do cheap hotels.
Depends. It
Yeah,
depends.
obviously it
what sort of
depends.
holiday
Like,
you go
if
for.
like if you have more money, go and get a better like place to stay at. But like in general in countries, there's so many fantastic places to visit. But people just go to the popular places. Like people going to England, for example, they'll always go to London. But like there's so many other amazing places in England that you can visit, but people just don't choose to because it's nowhere near as popular.
Are there?
Yeah.
Yeah, England is beautiful,
Yeah.
and I'm Italian.
And also, if you generalize it as the United Kingdom, there's even more places. You know, Edinburgh,
Yeah.
Cornwall.
Cornwall is amazing.
Yeah, Cornwall's really nice as well. And you can check out more on the Pause website. I don't know why I keep saying Ask Pause. But
Ask pause.
Yeah,
That should be our official name,
yeah.
maybe.
At this
Ask
point, it
Pause.
might as well be. But yeah, on the Pause website as well, you can check out more stuff on that. But we are half an hour over time.
We definitely need to finish this.
I said to Julie that we need to do long podcasts because this is perfect. We just hope that you will agree if you decide to listen along the way.
Let us know if you want shorter podcast. I would be more than happy to do that.
But yes, that is it from us today.
Thank you so much for joining us from the editor, Giulia Basana.
And we'll see you next time.
And if you tune in tomorrow's show, we will be having... Well, actually, I can't say who's going to be on the show yet because it continues to vary. But check out tomorrow because we are going to have our Mind episode of the Pause podcast on for all of you to watch. Thank you all for tuning in, and we hope you have a great day.